Have you ever found yourself focusing more on the negative than the positive, even when things are going well in your life? You're sat there waiting for the next negative thing to come round. You feel like everything's going too good at the moment, and so you're there like something negative is bound to happen. How often has this happened to you? Welcome back to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I'm Sanj, your guide on this journey of transforming your mindset, building habits, and creating a life that truly makes you thrive, makes you excited, and makes you energized to wake up every single day. Thank you for tuning into today's episode, where I'm going to be diving into a fascinating and often overlooked topic, which is why you could be addicted to negativity. So Norman Vincent Peale, who said, "Change your thoughts and you change your world." But here's the thing, changing your thoughts is easier said than done, especially when you're stuck in a pattern of negative thinking. It's easy to get stuck in that thought process of, oh yeah, everything is bad, especially with all the things we have going on around us. Today, we're going to be exploring how and why we get hooked on negativity, how it affects our mindsets, and most importantly, I'll give you some practical strategies to break free of this grip that it has on your mind. So let's get into it. I always considered myself a positive person, but I did always find that I had these negativity spirals. There would just be something that triggered me where I'd just start thinking negatively to myself. Well, I'd be like, oh, you know what? This happened, so this is going to happen. And then I start catastrophizing. I did this, and then now no one's going to talk to me now because I did something awkward, etc., etc. It's easy to let something negative actually impact you in such a big way. But what you don't realize is it's actually not as bad as you think. First of all, you're there focused on it. You've got your spotlight shone on that negative thing, whereas most other people, yes, it may have happened, but they'll dismiss it. They won't give it a second thought, most people. They'll actually just move on and be like, okay, yeah, this happened. You're going to be hooked. You're going to be worried. You're going to be feeling regretful that something negative happened, while the next person is going to be there thinking, what's he even talking about? But in today's world, it's so easy to be addicted to negativity because there's so much of it around us. If you think about it, you get it from the news, you get it from the radio, you get it from social media. You see all these negative things on social media, and all of a sudden you think the world's a really bad place. But the truth is, a lot of this stuff was happening before social media. The only difference is now people would prefer to pull their phones out and record something bad happening rather than getting involved and stopping it. People would prefer to send that negativity, all those bad things that have gone on. They'll prefer to pass it all around rather than actually pass on positive things. Why? Because the negative videos, they have more impact on you. Why are we drawn to negativity? Why do we sometimes find ourselves focusing on what's wrong instead of what's right? And why can that negativity feel almost comfortable? The reason is because your brain is wired to pay more attention to negative information than positive. And it's called the negativity bias. It's a survival mechanism from tens of thousands of years ago that's evolved to help our ancestors stay alert to potential dangers. Thousands of years ago, noticing and remembering threats. That could be the difference between life and death. But today, this negativity bias doesn't serve us as well. When you have a negative event, it tends to have 5 times greater impact on you than positive ones. Just think about that. How many negative things do you remember compared to the positive ones? One negative thought or experience can actually outweigh 5 positive ones. So even though your life is actually filled with more positive things than you can imagine, your brain is still clinging to the negative. So it makes it easy to fall into a cycle of just negative thinking. The impact of this negativity addiction on our mindset is huge, because constantly focusing on the negative wears us down mentally, emotionally, physically. It affects your confidence, it drains your energy, and it can actually lead to anxiety and depression over time. You're caught in this loop, and it's as if your mind's telling you, sorry, don't look for the good stuff, stick with the things that are wrong. And the weird thing is you listen. But the good news is the moment you become aware of it, the moment you actually start catching yourself getting caught in these negativity loops, when you recognize that your mind has a tendency to focus on the negative, that's when you can start to challenge it. That's when you can start to change it. It is so important to overcome this addiction, because breaking free from the negativity, it isn't just about feeling better. It's actually about transforming your life. Just imagine it. Imagine instead of being weighed down by those negative thoughts, you're feeling energized, you're feeling optimistic, you're feeling positive and ready to tackle any challenge. It is so important to let go of this negativity, because it can make such a difference in your life. It gives you greater mental clarity and focus. When you're not bogged down with constant negative thoughts, you actually free up your mental energy. Letting go of the negativity, it makes space for clearer thoughts and sharper decision making. Because when you focus on positive thinking, you actually have improved focus, memory, and problem solving skills. The next thing is it can improve your relationships, because how many times have you been somewhere with someone who's always in a negative place? It impacts you whether you want it to or not. When you're around someone who's constantly focusing on what's wrong, it can put a strain on your relationship. But when you shift, or when they shift to a more positive outlook, it actually means you become more open, you become more supportive and more enjoyable to be around. People are attracted to positivity. And so by overcoming negativity, you can strengthen your connections and attract more meaningful relationships. There's one guy that I was coaching, and he was constantly in a negative mindset, constantly saying that no one would actually love him, that he wasn't good enough for anyone. And he was always finding flaws in himself. And then one day he had a moment of clarity. He managed to start to change his narrative. He started to actually become more positive after we went through some tips and techniques, and he started just thinking differently. He started to become more positive, and he noticed that he was smiling more. He started appreciating himself more. And what actually ended up happening was he noticed that people were more attracted to him. People are drawn to positivity. And so by him overcoming his negativity, he found a strength, which he found connections which he never thought he would find. He found that girls were approaching him, or he was feeling more confident to approach girls, and he was actually happier. So being more positive can actually improve your relationships. And finally, and most importantly, it can improve your happiness. When you're constantly overcoming negativity, you actually build your resilience. When you don't succumb to that negativity, you're pushing yourself to build yourself into a resilient person. You know that life will always throw challenges your way. But when you're not hooked, when you're not craving those negative thoughts to make you feel better, you can actually face them with strength and with optimism. Positive thinkers are more likely to bounce back from setbacks than those who dwell on negative. Over time, when you start building this up, when you start becoming more positive, you actually become happier in your life. You actually improve your self-confidence. You have a stronger sense of self-worth. And these are just 3 of the benefits that can change the course of your life. But if you want to actually break the cycle of negativity, here are 5 quick and simple ways in which you can do it. Practice daily gratitude. Always, I keep talking about it, But gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. When you start a gratitude journal, or you just take a few moments every morning to think of the things you're thankful for, it's a small shift, but it has a huge impact. The next thing is limit your negative media consumption. Things like the news, turn it off. Things like the radio, there's always people calling in and complaining about stuff. Turn it off. Social media, even certain conversations, it can all feed your negativity bias. Limit your exposure to it. Fill your mind with more positive things, with uplifting things, with empowering things. Read books that inspire you. Listen to podcasts like this one, of course, which can help you and just help build you up. Watch content that makes you feel good about yourself. When you limit your social media use as well to 30 minutes a day, you actually will lower your levels of anxiety and depression. And reducing that negative input, it helps create a more positive mindset. Next thing, the people around you. Surround yourself with positive people. Because when you actually start putting positive people around you, you're more likely to become a more positive person. Spending time with optimistic people makes positivity contagious. So seek out friends, mentors, colleagues, coaches who have a positive outlook. It's easy to adopt the attitude of those around you. So make sure those around you are positive. Next is, as always, celebrate your wins, because when you're focused on negativity, you forget to celebrate the good. So start acknowledging your small wins, your achievements, whether it's completing a task, sticking to a habit, making any sort of progress. You celebrating those wins will boost your motivation and increase long-term success rates. So celebrate your progress, no matter how small. It helps you break the cycle of negativity by reminding you of the positive accomplishments that you have. Finally, reframe your negative thoughts, because when a negative thought pops up, don't let it control you. Actually challenge it. Ask yourself, what's a different way to look at it? When you reframe it, it's about changing your perspective. So when you're thinking, I'll never be good at this one day, when you're thinking, I'll never be good at this, try thinking, I'm learning, I'm getting better each day. When you reframe those thoughts, it not only makes you feel better, but it actually rewires your brain to think more positively. It takes practice, but over time, it can make a big difference. Remember, overcoming negativity isn't about pretending that the world's all sunshine and rainbows. It's about training your mind to see the good alongside the challenges. When you break free from that addiction to negativity, from social media, from the news, you get to live more fully, love more openly, and you actually get to face life with greater courage because you have more confidence in yourself. So what's one small step you can take today to let go of some of the negativity and invite more positivity into your life? Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with someone who may need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and like this podcast. And I'll keep providing more insights and habit hacks for you. Until next time, stay positive, keep growing, and remember that your mindset shapes your world. When you master your mindset, you'll master your life.